El Dorado, the myth, the history, the hunt. A place so rich in gold that rivers sparkled under the sun, where palaces shone brighter than the day itself. For centuries, explorers risked their lives searching for it, convinced they could bring back the greatest treasure the world had ever known. Yet, no one ever found it. Was it a real kingdom hidden deep within the Americas? Or nothing more than a dream born from greed and desperation? Today, we step back into the age of exploration, into jungles no map could capture, across mountains no road could tame, to uncover the truth behind the legend of El Dorado, the birth of the legend. The story of El Dorado began in the early 16th century, shortly after Christopher Columbus's voyages had opened the floodgates for European exploration of the Americas. Spanish conquistadors, driven by tales of vast riches, like those of the Aztec and Inca empires, began hearing whispers of an even greater prize, a mysterious city, a kingdom overflowing with gold. But in its earliest form, El Dorado was not a city at all. It was a man. Indigenous accounts spoke of a powerful ruler who covered his body in gold dust during ceremonies, then washed it away in a sacred lake. This tale was first recorded in colonial chronicles, most famously in the writings of Juan Rodriguez Fraile, who described the coronation rituals of the Muisca people in the Colombian highlands. The historical context. In the 1500s, Spain's conquest of the Americas was well underway. Gold and silver poured into Europe, fueling imperial ambitions. For conquistadors, the promise of a land like El Dorado was irresistible. Native cultures, such as the Muisca, lived in regions rich with emeralds, salt, and some gold, but nothing approaching the scale of the Spanish imagination. For the indigenous peoples, gold was not currency, it was sacred. It symbolized the sun, a gift for the gods, used in rituals rather than for trade. But to the Europeans, gold was power, wealth, and glory. Misunderstandings, mistranslations, and exaggerations turned ceremonial traditions into visions of limitless treasure. The great expeditions, the jungles, rivers, and mountains of South America became both a lure and a grave for those who dared the journey. In 1541, Gonzalo Pizarro, brother of the infamous Francisco Pizarro, assembled a force of hundreds of Spaniards and thousands of indigenous porters in Quito, determined to march east in search of the Golden Kingdom. With them was Francisco de Orellana, who would later become famous for his role in the expedition. They pushed through the towering Andes, descending into the unknown depths of the Amazon basin. The journey was brutal. Thick, steaming jungles where the sun barely touched the ground, rivers swarming with piranhas, and swamps alive with disease. Supplies rotted, food ran out, and men starved. Some accounts tell of soldiers boiling leather saddles to survive. Eventually, Orellana split from Pizarro, building a small brigantine and navigating the immense Amazon River all the way to the Atlantic, the first European ever to do so. But neither man found El Dorado. Instead, the expedition left a legacy of suffering and death. Other conquistadors followed. In 1560, Pedro de Ursua led another mission from Peru into the Amazon. This journey ended not in gold, but in mutiny. Ursua was murdered by his own men, and the infamous rebel Lope de Aguirre seized command. Aguirre's tale became legend in its own right, a descent into paranoia, violence, and open rebellion against the Spanish crown. His obsession with El Dorado twisted into a quest for his own empire, ending with his death in Venezuela. By the late 16th century, the legend had crossed the Atlantic to England. Sir Walter Raleigh, driven by the dream of glory and wealth for Queen Elizabeth I, sailed to the region now known as Guyana in 1595. Raleigh claimed to have found evidence of a city called Manoa, a place, he wrote, richer than Peru, and filled his published account, The Discovery of Guyana, with descriptions of golden palaces and glittering streets. His book inspired generations of explorers, though modern historians believe much of it was exaggerated or fabricated to secure royal favor and funding. Raleigh returned to South America in 1617 for a second attempt, but it ended in disaster. His son was killed in a skirmish, and Raleigh himself was arrested and executed upon returning to England. These expeditions, though failures in their stated goal, mapped unknown rivers, charted coastlines, and revealed the staggering scale of South America to European eyes. Yet with every return, empty-handed and broken, the question lingered. Was El Dorado ever real, or was it always a mirage painted by ambition and greed? Legends and truths. The roots of El Dorado lie not in a city, but in a ritual. Early Spanish chroniclers wrote of the Muisca people in the highlands of present-day Colombia, whose new rulers would be covered in gold dust, then bathed in the waters of Lake Guatavita as an offering to the gods. Spectators threw precious stones and ornaments into the lake, turning its depths into a treasure vault. For the conquistadors, this was all the proof they needed. Somewhere, surely, lay a city where gold was not just a symbol, but a way of life. From this seed, the legend grew, twisted, amplified, and reshaped with each retelling. Over decades, the Golden Man became the Golden City, and the Golden City became an entire kingdom. Maps of the New World began to feature mysterious blank spaces with the name El Dorado, placed wherever the imagination of cartographers demanded. But not all tales were born from ceremony. Among the rivers and rainforests, native guides, sometimes to mislead, sometimes to appease, spoke of lands where gold was so abundant it paved the streets, where the king's palace gleamed like the sun. These stories, passed through interpreters and recorded by eager Spaniards, blurred the line between truth and fantasy. One of the most enduring myths placed El Dorado deep in the Amazon basin. Another claimed it lay high in the Guyana highlands, guarded by waterfalls and cliffs no army could cross. In 1698, explorers even tried to drain Lake Guatavita itself, digging a trench to reach its fabled treasures. They recovered some gold ornaments, proof, perhaps, of the Muisca ritual, but nothing close to a city's worth of riches. Modern archaeology has found no evidence of a golden metropolis. Yet the legend persists, not because of what was found, but because of what was imagined. El Dorado became more than a place. It became a mirror reflecting human desire, ambition, and the hunger for the unattainable. Even today, the story of El Dorado survives in films, novels, and whispers among adventurers. Not because anyone truly believes they will stumble upon golden walls, but because the idea of a lost paradise continues to haunt the edges of the map. The legacy of the hunt. For centuries, El Dorado remained a mirage that lured explorers into some of the most dangerous terrain on Earth. Many died chasing it. Some returned empty-handed, but with extraordinary discoveries about the landscapes and peoples of South America. In truth, the real treasure was never gold. It was the rich cultures of the indigenous peoples, their history, and the lands they called home. But for the conquistadors, that truth was invisible, hidden behind their hunger for wealth. Today, El Dorado stands as one of the most enduring myths of the Americas, a reminder of how hope, greed, and imagination can shape history. The jungles and mountains still keep their secrets, and the legend continues to inspire adventurers and dreamers alike. Perhaps El Dorado never existed. Or perhaps, deep in the heart of the Amazon, or hidden in the folds of the Andes, there still lies a place where gold glitters under the sun, waiting for the one who dares to find it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the legend of El Dorado, please give the video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, or if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new story. See you in the next adventure.